Hi everyone. Today I've coined what we're going to be talking about today, say die to dieting. The next step is avoid being too over-hungry. That certainly can stimulate a lot of non-hungry eating. If we're waiting for the end of the day before we actually eat anything, you can see how very quickly you can over-consume how much you're having. So avoiding being over-hungry is another great step in avoiding non-hungry eating. The next step I recommend, and this is a hard one, try not to weigh yourself. Weighing yourself is very, very deceptive. It's not unusual for someone to gain 2 or 3 kilos over the course of the day, or even between weeks. And the reason why is fluid accumulation. We all accumulate fluid as the day goes on. So it's not really fair to ourselves to be weighing ourselves. After all, a number shouldn't really dictate, our worth or our value or how successful we are. And I think sometimes we denigrate ourselves to just a number. A better measure might be how you're feeling in energy or how you're looking in your clothes instead of just a number on the scale. So try not to weigh yourself. If you've got to weigh yourself, maybe just once a month. It's going to be hard for a lot of people, I'm sure. Step 5 is to savor each bite. If there's something that you really enjoy to eat, savor each bite. That way you're less likely to overeat it. What I mean by that is the pleasure that you get from a single bite of food decreases with the number of bites. Studies have shown that maximal pleasure is gained from about 2, 3 or 4 bites of a particular food that we love. After that, our taste buds actually tell us to stop. It's not really enjoying it anymore. That way, perhaps we can learn to put down the food after that many bites. This won't be easy, especially if many of us are used to the all or nothing thinking that dieting can bring. Dieting certainly creates that deprivation in our minds, and all of a sudden we look at food as something that must be consumed all in one go because it may not be there tomorrow. Why? Because we're going to start our diet tomorrow. This phenomenon is called the Last Supper phenomenon, and it's well known in dieting psychology circles. So savor each bite, and when you feel like you don't want any more, put it aside. You can always come back to it next time. This has a significant impact on how much non-hungry eating we're doing as well. The next step is to look at eating in a non-sacrifice way. So low sacrifice eating. What do I mean by this? Many of us have foods that we could hit or miss, that we could leave, and they're called the low sacrifice foods. Some of these would particularly be not very helpful for our bodies or not very healthy. So I consider that you write some of those down, and if they're low sacrifice for you, consider eliminating them from your diet for a period of time. Including your diet of other things which are high sacrifice, things that you love, that you could not live without, things like coffee, perhaps chocolate, wine, cheese, whatever it is for you that is high sacrifice, that if someone told you to give it up tomorrow, you'd be very, very mad with them. So those are your high sacrifice foods. Consider including them in your diet, even on a daily basis, a small amount. Morning tea is a great time to try and include some of those things in your diet. That way you don't get that binge starvation cycle that dieting can create. So with those steps, I hope that we're well on the way to encouraging a more healthy relationship with the food that we're eating and with life in general. I mean, life's really not meant to be all about going from dieting to non-dieting to dieting again. It certainly is more about balance.